There's a great team in my organization called the Futures team. And they at one point created the CTO agent. And I thought to myself, wow, boy, are my days numbered as CTO as well? Our jobs with AI are changing. But really, I believe it's going to lead to much better human work. You want to help people. You want to help businesses be more profitable. You want to help them make better decisions. Leaning in with HI plus AI, it becomes an extremely valuable proposition because with roughly the same workforce, but kind of amping up the skills and amping up the tasks that are done, everyone benefits, everyone wins.
Welcome to Aprio Ascend, where bold ideas meet smart growth. I'm your host, Jordan Fladell, Managing Director of Technology Advisory Services at Aprio. Today, I'm joined by Alex Balazs, Chief Technology Officer at Intuit, a company that's not only redefining financial software through AI, but also partnering with firms like Aprio to deliver transformative client experiences. We'll dive into Intuit's AI strategy, the power of human expertise, and how our partnership is helping clients scale smarter and faster. Alex, welcome, and let's jump in.
Sounds great, Jordan. It's amazing to be here with you.
Oh, I appreciate it, Alex. I know it's been a long journey. Let's start with the big picture. Intuit's been building towards an AI-driven expert platform for years. What's the North Star guiding this journey, Alex?
Yeah, our North Star is obviously it always starts with the customer. And we want to make sure that the journey that we are taking is always in pursuit of helping that customer. The really interesting part of this journey is we spent about the first 40 years of Intuit's existence creating products that made it easy for the person to do it themselves, for the customer to do it themselves. And with our strategy to create this AI-driven expert platform, we've spent the past couple of years now really diving deep and concentrating on creating a done-for-you experience where the customer doesn't have to do the work themselves. And the beauty of this platform is if you dissect the words of AI-driven and expert and platform, all those words are really, really important because it's not just artificial intelligence, it's AI plus HI, human intelligence. It's not just about training an AI model to do a bunch of work. It's about leveraging the platform investments that we've made for over 10 years and making sure those capabilities are available. And then it's about taking those three things and putting them together. And so from the end customer's perspective, it's always done. Whether it's done by the AI, it's done by their accountant, or it's done by an expert that's running on the platform. All of it is in pursuit of really that North Star of allowing our customers to spend more time doing what they want to do, which is to actually execute the business of why they got into it in the first place.
Well, that's awesome because Aprio's approach as well is rooted in that human-led advisory, and our alliance with Intuit lets us bring AI-powered insights into the hands of CPAs, advisors, and business owners without losing that human touch. And I think you caught on that by business owners really aren't finance people. They run a business, right? And they want the time to run that business. And that's what excites us about this partnership. So let's talk about impact. Where are the customers today? I know you're early on in this journey, but you've been doing this for a while. Where are they seeing AI in action, and where are you hearing, the great success stories maybe, or maybe a few success stories you might have heard from a few of your clients?
Where they're seeing it is really across the platform. So whether they're consumers running in TurboTax and Credit Karma, but really inside of the business platform. And so we made a concerted attempt and had a strategy at the beginning of the year to really start to think about how do we create true end-to-end done-for-you experiences? And these done-for-you experiences must be ones that have no dead ends. The problem with traditional AI and a complicated workflow is that under some percentage of the times, you always hit a dead end where the AI basically runs out or the data runs out. Well, the great news running on our platform is there are no dead ends because it'll connect you to a human expert. Right? It'll connect you to an Aprio tax preparer or an expert running on our virtual expert platform. So for us, it's this unbelievably powerful strategy of the customer really sensing that they're never alone and that the work is done for them. So specific examples are things like our payments agent that automatically detects that payments are overdue and can automatically suggest terms of, hey, you should send these reminders to these folks. You should use this level of tone. When you send out invoices to customers. They can check, hey, is this a customer who tends to pay their bill on time or one who doesn't? And if it doesn't, you may actually automatically add late terms. And what we've seen is simply by adding late terms to an invoice automatically with AI, those customers are more apt to actually pay their bills on time. And so that is one place where we've actually seen huge impact of our customers getting paid faster and more on time. Another example, which is a great example of AI and HI working together, is our accounting agent, where basically the agent will go in and it will start to categorize transactions. But the great thing is that this agent knows when it believes that it got the answer right and when it's really not so sure about the answer, right? And when it's not so sure about the answer, it can delegate it to the accountant and say, hey, I think I categorized these 6 transactions, but you should look at these 4. And then the accountant could actually send a message to the client, and it will show up in QuickBooks to say, well, I see this expense for this restaurant. What were you doing? Because based on whether it was an employee or a customer, we may have to treat it and categorize it differently. And so these levels of automation have been extremely powerful. One last example, if you don't mind, a
Oh, I
really,
don't,
really
please.
exciting one is our project management agent. So this is the one where early on when we showed this project management agent to some of our construction companies that we're working with, they were so unbelievably excited because the amazing thing about these construction projects is generally you don't know if you're going to make money on a construction project until it's done. And at that point, you can't make any choices. You can't change anything, right? The project management agent actually will predict, hey, based on the flow of what's going on so far, is this project actually going to be profitable? And if it's not profitable, what advice can we actually give them? And that's advice that sometimes the agent can deliver that advice. Sometimes it's through collaboration between the agent and their accountant, and they can work together and really provide that level of advisory so that this construction company can make choices and they can see, oh, my raw material costs are higher than I thought. Some of my employees are working overtime and I didn't expect them to. And these are the kinds of insights that we really couldn't provide before. So those are just 3 quick examples, but I'm really, really excited about the progress we've made so far.
Yeah, Alex, I couldn't tell you were excited about those progress. And actually, a funny story is we talked about this payment agent throughout the week this week with customers, and they can't be more excited about deploying it, right? That ability to have that self-serving agent who's smart to help them collect better, faster, and understand which customers are risk customers is huge. So that's all excitement enhancements by Intuit. As we move forward and we talk about that human element, right? Let's talk about the human side, right? Because everyone has got that fear inside their body that AI will replace people. And I think you and I both know that Intuit's philosophy and ours at Aprio is quite different about that. So I'd love to hear from your lens. You're a CTO, I'm a managing director of technology advisory. How do you see the human being playing in this role here?
I think that the human is critical, really, really critical. And I think that for those of us who are kind of executing this strategy in a way where we're bringing the best of AI and the best of humans together, we're going to be the winners. There's a great team in my organization called the Futures team. And they at one point created the CTO agent that basically was trained on documents that I had written and decisions that I had made and talks that I had given, and it would respond to you. And I thought to myself, wow, boy, are my days numbered as CTO as well? Of course, it can't quite do the finances of running a large organization, so I think I'm safe for a while. Our jobs with AI are changing. It's just the way it is. And, I remember, I think we're about roughly the same age. And, remember when automatic teller machines came out, ATMs came out. And it was like, oh, bankers will be out of business. No, there won't be any bankers anymore. There won't be any regional banks in any neighborhoods anymore. And the opposite is true, because the simple, mundane tasks of depositing money and withdrawing money and checking your balance, you don't need a human being to do that. The ATM could do that. So what do the bankers do? The bankers do higher level activities. They help with investments. They help with managing your money. They help to make sure you have your account set up the right way. The same is true here, that through the great work that we're doing together with between Aprio and Intuit, sure, we're changing the industry. We're changing the way that finances work. We're changing the way that accounting works. But really, I believe it's going to lead to much better human work. Instead of doing these things like I just talked about, of going through and manually trying to categorize every transaction, or hunting down documents, or hunting down what payments have been received and which have not, and are these receipts legible or not legible, and reading data off of a picture. No human really wants to do any of that work, right? Well, what they want to do is you want to help people. You want to help businesses be more profitable. You want to help them make better decisions. And so those are the places where once again, leaning in with HI plus AI, it becomes an extremely valuable proposition because with the roughly the same workforce, but kind of amping up the skills and amping up the tasks that are done, everyone benefits, everyone wins because the customer certainly will get a better outcome too.
Yeah, and I think, Alex, your point is really valid. I mean, if you think about the financial services industry, the robo-investing release, right? We today could still go to any platform and pick our own stocks, but the question is, do we have the expertise or the mindset to pick those right transactions? And I think the financial advisor industry didn't change. It actually grew through robo-investing because the value they were able to bring to customers were there. And I think that's what's exciting about our partnership is that we're going to change the value you get from your CPA, change the value you get from that partner, and blending that human and artificial intelligence is the way to get there. And I couldn't be more excited about it. But as we talk about AI, right, you know, everything's about trust, right? We're especially in a business like we are, we're in the CPA industry, and we are the most trusted professional service provider you have in your family of providers, right? We have your finances, you trusted us to make sure you're compliant. Talk to us about how we can trust Intuit. I mean, you have the largest database to be responsible with AI.
Yeah, so you use the word responsible there, and that's the way that we refer to it internally as well. So we have a responsible AI program, RAI. And so what is RAI? The responsible AI program is about first declaring a set of principles around AI. So things like the customer is always in control. It's the customer's data and not our data. The customer always has the ability to approve. The customer always knows what we've done on their behalf. And so with these principles, with every use case that comes in terms of how we want to use AI, we go through an assessment process. Does it adhere to these principles? Is it in fact in the best interest of the customer? We have a very strict responsible AI process. As you can imagine, when we first started this process, it was very manual. So it was pretty much 100% manual. Every request that came in, a human being came in and like read through it and really understood the use case and understood how data is going to be used and understood how the models are being used. The great news is we've been actually able to automate our responsible AI process with AI. And so we can actually go through an assessment that's not just faster, but it's actually better.
One of the things I think people forget about Intuit, and I always remind them, TurboTax, right? The confidence that we all know that that protects our financial information, forgetting how many users are on the QuickBooks platform, combined with your strength of responsible AI. As a customer of yours, I feel, and a partner, that gives me great confidence and hopefully gives everyone else confidence that you guys are really taking care of us and protecting our data and our integrity, essentially, as we move forward. So as we look ahead, right, we can't paint a picture of what the future looks like, but you guys have been doing this for 8 years, okay? So what excites you most? Like, Alex, I know there's a lot of things that excite you. I know we've talked about consolidation of realms, the kingdoms, and all types of things that are exciting to me. But what excites you right now? If I could give you the magic button, what would be the one thing you think that's going to be most impactful about the future of AI and human intelligence as we go forward?
I'm going to date myself here. I'm going to go back to 1999 when I joined Intuit 26 years ago. I actually just recently celebrated my 26th anniversary here.
Well, congratulations. That's amazing.
I was one of the engineers on the first version of QuickBooks Online that we released in late 1999. The first bit of Intuit swag, a t-shirt, it was a comic and it was a couple of dogs who were basically clicking on a keyboard. The first box said something like, on the internet, nobody knows that you're a dog. And then the second one said, on the internet, nobody knows you're a small business. And that kind of became our mantra that said, you know, we really want to create a platform where you're online and as a small business, you can compete with the big boys, right? You can compete with the big ones out there. Boy, the opportunity that we have with AI plus HI, creating the system of intelligence levels the playing field as much as we've ever seen. And, you know, we see it in the world of startups out there, right? Because there are these these unicorns with like 2 employees, right? And that just shows you how much AI has just completely changed the entire game, right? So now imagine mid-market businesses with the combination of an amazing accountant and an amazing technology platform. With that support, that mid-market business can compete against the biggest businesses in the world. And that's really what I'm excited about because, boy, when I go and I meet, and I know you obviously do as well, we go out and we meet these customers, right? Especially the mid-market customers. They're growing fast. Not so long ago, they were a small business. They managed a couple people, but things were kind of simple. Suddenly they've grown up. They have 50 employees. They're like, what did I get myself into? Right? And they just want to be able to go back to what it was like to actually run a small business, but at the scale of a mid-market or a larger business. And I'm just so excited about the opportunity that we have with AI plus HI to allow that business owner to go back to the thing that they fell in love with, which is starting that restaurant or being that construction company, being that advisor. That's what excites me the most.
Alex, it couldn't have been more point on. Last week, I got to speak to a ton of entrepreneurs. And when we were talking about this partnership, we were talking about just that, allowing the entrepreneur to run the business from startup to exit.
Yeah.
And focus on running the business and not worry about everything else. So super exciting. I know it's a catalyst for our growth and small businesses. And this platform of intelligence, a single platform, is going to be super powerful. So we got one final question for you, Alex. I know I'm going to get to see you relatively shortly, but let's leave our audience with one bold idea or insight. Like, what's your Ascend moment?
My advice would be an early adopter. Be an early adopter of AI. Be an early adopter and think about it as being very conscious about how you not just do your job, but how you live your life. The true power of operating on a platform like this, the true power of leveraging AI plus HI comes from rethinking everything you do. And I had to do that personally. That's in terms of like, how am I going to be CTO of Intuit? And there's kind of entrenched things that I learned from my predecessors and then I learned on the job. And then now, like the past 6 months, I'm questioning everything. I'm questioning every way that I work with my team. Do I attend these meetings or do I just read the AI notes? How do I truly maximize and be the best CTO that I can be? So really the thing that I'd like to leave everyone with is reimagine yourself. Reimagine where you spend your time, leveraging the power of this platform that's AI plus HI plus data, and you will be amazed at how much more of a scalable person you can be and how much more you're actually going to enjoy your life and enjoy your business and enjoy your family. It's truly going to be game-changing.
Well, Alex, thank you. The passion you show for human intelligence plus artificial intelligence clearly comes through. This conversation highlights why our partnership is so exciting to us at Aprio. We couldn't be more excited for what the future brings for our customers. To our listeners, if you're curious about how AI and human expertise can transform your business, visit Intuit and Aprio online, subscribe and share it to Aprio Ascend, and stay tuned. I'm Jordan Fladell, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Jordan.